Forget the jet cars and rockets you've seen on TV. What you're about to discover are the fastest machines in the world that drive their power through the wheels. Just imagine thousands of horsepower struggling to spin rubber across the salt at speeds where most airplanes are already flying. That's the world of wheel-driven land speed records, and today we're revealing the official top 5 of all time. These records are so rare, so difficult, that the current champion has held the crown for decades, and almost no one has come close to breaking it. But before we dive into this wild ride, welcome back to the channel. If you love speed and the untold stories behind record-breaking machines, make sure to subscribe and join us on every mind-blowing journey. Our countdown begins with the Spirit of Rett. This car was built by Nolan White, a racer who spent years chasing records at Bonneville. White was not a wealthy, factory-backed racer. He was an independent builder who spent decades refining his designs, learning from every run at the Bonneville Salt Flats. The name came from his son Rett White, who tragically passed away, making this record more personal than most. Every pass down the salt was a tribute to family. The car itself looked like a classic Streamliner, very low height, narrow width, long wheelbase to minimize drag. It was overall designed to pierce through the air with the least resistance possible. What was more unique was its astonishing power. The Spirit of Rett was powered by a Chevrolet V8 engine that produced over 2,000 horsepower. Unlike many land speed cars that used exotic engines, this one relied on raw piston power. It was naturally aspirated, meaning it didn't even use turbos or superchargers to push air in. At over 4,200 feet above sea level, the air density at Bonneville robs engines of power. Forced induction cars can overcome this by cramming more oxygen into their cylinders, but the Spirit of Rett had to make do with less. That made its 414.316 miles per hour record even more impressive. In 2010, Charles Neerberg piloted the Spirit of Rett, and it made 2 speed runs at the Bonneville Salt Flats. The first run averaged 417.0 miles per hour, with an exit speed of 422.6 miles per hour. The second run, made under more difficult track conditions, averaged 411.7 miles per hour, with a top speed of 417.65 miles per hour. The runs were timed over the flying mile, where the car averaged just over 414.4 miles per hour. It broke the 45-year-old Summers Brothers Goldenrod record, making Spirit of Rett the fastest naturally aspirated piston car in the world. For Nolan White's family, it was proof that their years of work and sacrifice could push a piston-powered machine into a range most people thought only turbines or rockets could touch. If the Spirit of Rett was all about raw simplicity, the Burkland 411 Streamliner was the opposite. It is one of the most advanced piston cars ever to hit the salt. Built and driven by Tom Burkland, the son of legendary racer Bill Burkland, which made it a true family project. The Burklands were well known at Bonneville, with a long history of record-breaking runs, and the 411 was their ultimate creation. At first glance, the car looked like a rocket ship more than a traditional racer. It was a fully enclosed Streamliner with long wheel fairings and an aerodynamic body designed to cut through the air as smoothly as possible. Unlike most land speed cars, the Burkland 411 was front-wheel drive. This design choice gave the car a unique stability advantage at high speeds, reducing the risk of fishtailing on the slippery salt surface. Few other teams dared to attempt it, but the Burklands made it work. Power came from not one, but 2 Donovan Chrysler V8 engines. Each engine was equipped with turbochargers and capable of producing nearly 2,000 horsepower on its own. Combined, the total output exceeded 4,000 horsepower. Running 2 engines in a single car wasn't new to land speed racing, but making them work together reliably was a massive challenge. Tom Burkland climbed into the cockpit and pushed the Streamliner past its limits. On that day, the car set a new record of 415.896 miles per hour. The Burklands had taken the family's decades of experience and turned it into one of the greatest piston-powered runs in history. The Burkland 411 is still celebrated as one of the most technically advanced streamliners ever to run at Bonneville. Even now, nearly 2 decades later, it remains one of the fastest piston-driven cars in history. But the next machine came along to raise the bar even higher. Just when people thought the limits of piston cars had been reached, a new machine called Speed Demon came to heat up the competition. It is the brainchild of George Poteet, a Memphis hot rodder with a lifelong passion for Bonneville. Poteet partnered with some of the best builders in the game, including Ron Main and engine wizard Kenny Duttweiler. The goal was to build the fastest piston-powered car in the world. From the outside, Speed Demon looks simple, but its success comes from careful design and endless refinement. The car uses a carbon fiber monocoque body with a razor-sharp aerodynamic profile. Every line is tuned to slice drag while keeping the car stable on salt that offers less grip than ice. Underneath, the engineering is just as advanced, with a rear-wheel drive layout and a chassis built to survive the punishing vibrations of 400+ miles per hour runs. The real magic, though, lies in the engines. Unlike most streamliners that stick to one power plant, Speed Demon has run with several different setups, each one built by Duttweiler. Some versions used small block Chevrolets, others massive LS-based engines, and all of them ran huge amounts of boost from turbochargers. Depending on the setup, the car could produce anywhere from 2,500 to over 3,500 horsepower. In 2012, Speed Demon made headlines when it officially set a record of 439 miles per hour, making it the fastest piston-powered car at Bonneville. Even more impressive, it has repeatedly topped 450 miles per hour in individual runs. Speed Demon also represents something rare in racing: consistency. Bonneville can destroy cars in a single run, but Poteet and his team returned year after year, refining their design and resetting records. Wait, do you want to be part of the fastest crew on YouTube? Click subscribe, and let's keep breaking records. Challenger II carried the weight of history. To understand how, you have to go back to the 1960s and one of land speed racing's greatest names, Mickey Thompson. Mickey Thompson was already a legend in drag racing and off-road racing, but his dream was Bonneville. In 1968, he launched the Challenger II, a four-wheel drive streamliner powered by twin Ford SOHC 427 engines. On paper, it had the power to break records, but fate got in the way. Bad weather, sponsorship issues, and other challenges meant the car never made its record run. Challenger II was parked, and for decades, it became more of a forgotten relic than a threat to the record books. That might have been the end of the story, but Mickey's son, Danny Thompson, brought the dream back to life. In the 2010s, he restored the Challenger II with modern safety equipment and rebuilt power. Instead of Ford engines, the car now packed twin nitro-fueled Hemi V8s, producing over 5,000 combined horsepower. Everything about the rebuild balanced history with modern engineering. In 2018, nearly 50 years after the car was first built, Danny Thompson drove Challenger II into the record books. Over the course of 2 runs, he averaged 448.757 miles per hour, making Challenger II the fastest piston-powered car in the world at the time. In many ways, Challenger II was proof that land speed records are more than numbers. They are about families, legacies, and passing the torch across generations. Mickey Thompson may not have lived to see his car set a record, but his son ensured the Thompson name would forever be tied to one of Bonneville's greatest achievements. The story begins with N.1 Vesco, a man already legendary in motorcycling and car racing. Vesco had been chasing speed records since the 1960s, building motorcycles and custom streamliners that consistently shattered expectations. In the early 2000s, the Vesco family turned its attention to a wheel-driven car that could challenge both piston and turbine records. The goal was clear: break the official world record for a wheel-driven vehicle under the SCTA rules. Vesco Turbinator II is powered by a Lycoming T55 turbine engine, the same type used in Chinook helicopters. This engine produces over 5,000 horsepower and delivers power through a sophisticated drivetrain designed to handle extreme torque without braking. Unlike jet cars, which rely on thrust to move, Vesco Turbinator II channels all its power through the wheels, which makes controlling it at speeds approaching 500 miles per hour an extraordinary technical challenge. The car's body is a purpose-built Streamliner made of carbon fiber and aluminum. At nearly 30 feet long, it was designed to reduce drag while keeping the car stable over the salt flats. The Vesco team spent years in wind tunnels and computer simulations to fine-tune every surface. Even a minor miscalculation could cause blowover at 480 miles per hour, so precision was non-negotiable. On October 10, 2018, at the Bonneville Salt Flats, Turbinator II made history. Driven by Dave Spangler, the car completed 2 official SCTA runs. The first run was faster, in the high 480s, and the second was slightly slower. The average speed was confirmed at 482.646 miles per hour. This made Turbinator II the fastest wheel-driven vehicle in recorded history, a title that had stood unchallenged for decades. Achieving this speed was not just about horsepower. Dave Spangler had to maintain extreme focus and control. The car accelerates so quickly that even minor steering inputs can destabilize it. Salt conditions, crosswinds, and temperature changes all affect grip and aerodynamics. Every run required perfect alignment, split-second timing, and trust in both the engineering and the team behind the car. Vesco Turbinator II also pushed engineering standards forward. Its drivetrain, turbine integration, and aerodynamic refinements became benchmarks for future teams. And that's a wrap on the top 5 official wheel-driven land speed records of all time. Every record we've seen tonight is an open fight against physics, traction, and time itself. And that battle is still far from over. These are the official fastest wheel-driven cars on Earth, machines where every ounce of power has to claw through salt and rubber. Which one impressed you the most? And do you think anyone will finally break Vesco Turbinator's 480 mile/hour official world record? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the ride, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss another record-breaking adventure.